Hey guys, in today's video, let me show you how to use MyPal's multi-agent workflows to monitor your competitor blog posts. At the end of the video, you will learn how to set up a multi-agent workflow like this to collect your competitors' recent blog posts and provides you with actionable insights on how you can improve your own SEO strategies. Let's get started. This AI workflow kickstart with a step to fetch the recent blog post about from a specific competitor of yours. Now, there are multiple approaches you can use to complete this step. The first approach you can consider is to fetch the recent blog post based on Google search query. You know that if you use Google search tool for your AI agent on MyPal, you can actually specify which site the Google search should scrape results from. So you can just provide the domain of your competitor, and the blog post return will only include a blog post from this specific competitor. However, the drawback of this approach is that the blog posts that are actually indexed by the Google search engine may not actually be up to date with the actual blog post published by your competitor, right? Because there's always a delay on the time to publish a blog post versus the time it actually gets indexed on Google. And some blog posts may not be even get indexed. So I think this may not be the most optimal way to fetch the recent blog post. Another option you can consider is to fetch the recent blog post based on the sitemap of the competitor. So there are some tools like the Firecrawl Map API that allows you to provide a domain and it will fetch the latest sitemap of that specific domain for you. This is also okay, but the problem of this approach is that the way most tools scrape the sitemap right now is to do a recursive scrolling. So essentially, it go to the homepage, scrape all the links that are internal linked in that homepage, and go to the next level and the next level, and just keep doing that loop until it fetch all of the links of that specific site for you. But I think this may not be very optimal because it may miss some links that are not properly internal linked within your competitor's website. So the approach I'm using in this case is that I would ask for the competitor blog site, so the specific path to the blog site of that competitor domain. So for example, if I'm monitoring mypal.space website, it would be mypal.space/blog. So when I have that specific blog site, I will have a tool like Gina Reader API, which is specifically a tool for scraping the content of a specific website URL. And I will have my web searcher equipped with that Gina Reader API tool to read that homepage of blog posts and fetch all the blog posts it can find from the past 7 days. So this is the approach I'm using, but please feel free to consider all of these 3 approaches and use the one that is the best fit for your specific use case. Now, after my agent has fetched the recent blog post, it will move into the next step where it will extract the key content from each blog post. You know, your competitor may have a lot of blog posts, so what we can do is we can loop through every single blog post URL here in the fetch recent blog post step that we have just done previously, and then scrape the key content for each blog post. After we have read every single blog post of the competitor, we will then proceed to the last step, which is a multifaceted analysis done by an orchestrator worker node. Now, what this node does is that I have my competitor blog post analyst to analyze the competitor blog post for insights on these 7 different aspects: content strategy and gaps, content types and formats, top performing keywords, and many more. And I wanted to focus on one aspect at a time instead of to find every single insights in one go. This is because I find that the AI agent is more effective when it focuses on one specific task at a time. So I'm using this orchestrator worker so that it will plan the to-do list, which is a list of 7 tasks. Each task focuses on one aspect of analysis, and then it will call the worker agent in this case, which is the competitor blog post analyst, to analyze every single aspect in that to-do list. Now, technically, you may not need to use the orchestrator worker node in this case. The orchestrator worker node is best at situations where you need to coordinate multiple worker agents to do a complex task. In this case, I just have one single agent, competitor blog post analyst. So technically, I can just use a simple loop node like in the last step here, where I have this competitor blog post agent to loop through every single aspect in the list of 7 aspects and provide the insights for me. However, I'm using the orchestrator worker node in this case because chances are when you duplicate this AI workflow into your workspace, you may have multiple domain experts to provide this analysis instead of one generic competitor blog post analyst like this. You may have an SEO content strategist agent, keyword strategist agent, maybe a product manager agent, each with their own specific skill set and expertise, and you can actually summon all of them here by assigning them into the worker agents tab here so that they will focus on the aspect that they are the best at. But for now, for the simplicity of demonstration, I'm gonna just using the competitor blog post analyst for now. But feel free to assign more expert worker agents in this step if you want to. Okay, now as the workflow is fully set up, we can start using this workflow across multiple competitors. For example, let's say we can monitor the blog post of HubSpot. I can provide the HubSpot website for marketing blog here, and then you can see my web searcher to fetch the recent blog posts, 6 most recent one from March 12 to March 14 by HubSpot, and then it will extract the key content from every single blog post, as you can see here. It's on the overview, key content and insights, as well as the conclusion, just to get a better sense of the content that HubSpot is producing recently. And it will keep doing this for all the 6 blog posts that it has just fetched in the last step, and then it will do the multifaceted analysis as the last step is planning the 7 tasks corresponding to the 7 aspects that I have instructed it to do. The first one is analyze content strategy and gaps, as you can see here, and it has identified key themes and topics, frequency of posts, content gaps, as well as recommendations for myself, and then content types and formats, and then top performing keywords, and then SEO optimization techniques that I can learn from HubSpot, emerging industry trends mentioned in this blog post, thought leadership positioning from HubSpot, and then any product updates and announcements from HubSpot that are mentioned in the blog post. And just like that, within minutes, I have a full view of how blog post is going with their blog post strategy. And the good thing is that I can repeat this not just for HubSpot, but any other competitors that I want, so that I always know what my competitors are doing, and maybe I can learn some things from them and update my own SEO strategies if necessary. Now, to make the workflow even better, what you can do is in the multifaceted analysis here, you can actually train the AI agent responsible to do the analysis on your own business context, so they can actually tailor the recommendations for your specific case. You can also change the aspects here as well. These are the 7 aspects that I personally care about, but depending on your specific business, you may care about other things. So you can instruct the AI to focus on other aspects if you'd like to. And once you think the workflow is ready, you can actually schedule this workflow to run on a weekly, monthly, or quarterly basis so that the workflow will auto-triggers instead of having you manually entering the competitor site every single time. The way you can do it is that on MyPal, we have a triggers section here where you can add a schedule trigger. Let's say you can have a schedule trigger for HubSpot marketing blog, and it will run every week on Monday, for example. And the competitor web blog site it would need to monitor is this blog site. Let me save this, and I can do the same for all the competitors that I have. Like for example, if you want to add another custom trigger for, let's say, Ahrefs, and just save it. And now, every single week on Monday, this AI workflow will run for the HubSpot marketing blog and Ahrefs blog, and you will get an email notification when it is completed so that you can go inside and check all the insights that you can learn from these competitors for the past week. So I hope this tutorial is helpful to you. If you want to try out this workflow, find out the template link linked in the video description. You can also duplicate this AI workflow into your personal workspace and customize it if needed. For now, take care and happy automating. Goodbye.